Okay, in this video we're going to have a look at the electrolysis of molten and aqueous solutions. I'm going to be using sodium chloride to help me to illustrate this to you. Please note, in this video I'm not going to go through the basics of electrolysis, and I'm not going to go through the basics of how we undergo electrolysis of molten ionic compounds or aqueous ionic compounds. You need to know those to understand this video. So if you're not sure, go back and watch the appropriate video on those topics just to make sure you've got that understanding that you will need. To compare these two, I'm just going to fold my sheet in half and then we'll unfold it to do a comparison. Okay, so if I do the electrolysis of molten sodium chloride, then this will break down to give me two ions, sodium ions and chloride ions. The sodium ion is the cation, so that's going to go to the cathode. At the cathode, it'll pick up an electron and it will become sodium metal. And gaining this electron is reduction to produce the sodium. At the anode, what will happen here is my chloride ion will get there. We're going to take away, lose the electron to form chlorine. Notice chlorine is diatomic, therefore I need two electrons and I need two ions. And because this is losing electrons to form chlorine, this is an example of oxidation. So the products in this reaction are going to be sodium at the cathode and I'm going to get chlorine at the anode. Okay, compare that to electrolysis of the solution. Now in the solution we have actually got four ions present, okay, because we've got our sodium ions and chloride ions as we had before, but I've now got H plus ions and hydroxide ions because it's aqueous in water H2O. This means at the cathode I've got two cations. The least reactive is going to react first, which in this case is the hydrogen. So my hydrogen will react as shown. Remember, it's diatomic, and this is gaining electrons. It is reduction to lead to the production of hydrogen. Notice comparison already. This was making sodium. As a solution, we're now getting hydrogen. At the anode, I've got two anions. The simplest is going to react first, which in this case is going to be Cl-. It's got one part. Hydroxide has got two parts. So my chlorine is going to react first to form chloride ions are going to react first to make chlorine gas, releasing electrons. This is oxidation. This is the same as here. So both, whether it be molten or in a solution, both of them are going to lead to the production of chlorine. Okay, so products. In this one, for the solution, we get hydrogen and chlorine. Notice in the molten ionic compound, we get sodium and chlorine. So there are the differences. There's a comparison of the different reactions involved in those two processes.